What's up, people? Welcome back to the channel. So I mentioned I wanted to do a second, I wanted to do at least well, I usually do 2 market watches, but I wanted to do like 3 market watches this week, just because I've been talking about the same cards for the last week and a half. So I kind of wanted to change it up to kind of get away from some of those cards. So this is pretty much, this is like I said, I released a market watch, like earlier in the week yesterday, and now I'm gonna release another one today. So back-to-back market watches. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, subscribe. If not, it is all cool. We're trying to get a 500 subscribers. Leave a comment down below, if you want to help us out. No, it's all good. Let's go ahead and get into the cards. The first card I want to talk about is Shaddoll Fusion. So I haven't really seen too much kind of like too much craziness going on with with Shaddoll Fusion, but with with a lot of attention to other things. I say other things, but I just realized I actually forgot to put it in this market watch, so I might just kind of shoehorn it in and kind of at the end of the market watch. But with the kind of rise of popularity of certain other cards, we got a lot of other kind of engines that are kind of being looked at. So right now, Shaddoll Fusion is a really cool going second option, simply because it has the ability to send one obviously a lot of people know what it does, but like going second, if your opponent has an extra deck monster, you can send Shaddoll monsters from your deck to the graveyard, and there is a Shaddoll monster that allows you to banish cards in your opponent's graveyard. On top of that, there's one that allows you to destroy things and draw. It is an amazing going second card, especially when you kind of drop down a window to kind of slow down any kind of other things they might try to do to try to bring the board back once you break it. So we're looking at Shaddoll Fusion. The super rare from the from the deck is around $2. Super rare from the Megatins, that one's around $2. The secret rare, however, is around the $4 range. The super rare from Duel's Alliance is around $2 to $3. The secret rare being the highest rarity is kind of the one that I'm looking at. I did previously want to invest in this, but I kind of ended up kind of backing off it. But now I'm looking at it, I shouldn't have done that, because I'm looking at the mod plays are about $349, life play first dead $349, near mint $450. So we're looking at almost $4 to $5 a copy for this card near mint first edition. So if you have some of these and you're not planning to use them, or if you're planning to go with Fire King and you're just staying away from this stuff, I would get rid of it right now, because I think it just depends on the meta and how the state of Yu-Gi-Oh is. But Shaddoll Fusion is a pretty interesting card to be to run. One of the cards that the Shaddoll deck tries to get out is El Shaddoll Winda, and right now she is pretty cheap. You got the super rare for under $2. You get the secret rare for the $3 to $4 range. The ultra rare, similar $3 to $4 range. The the ultra rare, the original ultra rare is kind of like I said, they're $3 to $4 range as well. To be honest, this is the card that this is the engine that I wouldn't sleep on. I actually messed up and sold my window a long time ago. I just recently bought myself a super rare one to kind of put back, because I was using it in a Dogmatica Fire King engine list. But to be honest, I'm looking at it and I might want to kind of change up what I'm doing and maybe try to do some type of more Shaddoll, a bigger Shaddoll package, just because going second, it is extremely really good. Shaddoll Beast is one of the cards that you want to send, that you want to be sending from it to the graveyard, depending on which one you're trying to summon. You have a lot of different avenues you could go, but Shaddoll Beast allows you to fix your hand if you don't kind of have the best hand. But so you kind of have the Shaddoll Beast there. This one right here, this is the Astral Pack super rare version, and it's going for about about $1.40, about pretty much $2 for the super rare version. There are other versions of this card. I think there's a common and a rare. Yeah, so yeah, I know there's an ultra rare version, there's a rare version, and there is a common version. So there's a whole bunch of different versions of this card, but the super rare is kind of one of the more high rarity versions of this card, going from the $2 range. Another really good card is Shaddoll Dragon. This one is pretty much I believe Shaddoll Dragon lets you pop a monster on the field. So this is kind of another card that a lot of decks kind of like to have in there and kind of send. You get the super rare from Tournament Pack 15 for around the $1.75 $2 range. The rare is 30 cents, common 9 cents. This rare is 25 cents. So there are budget options, but like I said, if you kind of want to you run a more higher rarity, you want to get this stuff when it's really cheap, I would go and get the Dragon now, sooner before people kind of catch on to how good. Like I said, I'm not saying it's gonna be 100%. It's gonna be the best thing. It's gonna be we 100% need it. But I really do like the interaction that Shaddoll Fusion has with especially Fire King going second. I understand depending on your setup, you have you have ways around it. But sometimes if you get activated card to kind of to like bait certain things out, Shaddoll Fusion becomes extremely powerful. So yeah, this is kind of going over some of the Shaddoll cards that I want to talk about. Something that's crazy is the Shaddoll structure deck is going for about $40 to $50. So if you have these sealed for some reason, that's kind of like really good. The quarter century Shaddoll Schism is around $4 to $5. So is the secret rare. Yeah, this name is gonna kill me. The Anoyatelis, we're just gonna leave right there. That one's gonna go in the $7 range. The Shikinaga, this one is going around $11 for the ultimate rare. So some of these are kind of pretty high, but for the most part, a lot of these kind of cards are under $2. You get this one right here. This is the one that's also a pretty decent one because you got like a lot of fire monsters if you're running it in some kind of like fire deck, or if you're running it as a small engine in a fire deck, you could run the Shaddoll Beast, which I believe has an ability which kind of has effects similar to Evil Sword like Logia, to where you can stop your opponent from like summoning a monster. So yeah, so like there's a lot kind of like a lot of kind of like synergy, but to be honest, I would just kind of get some of this stuff sooner rather than later before it kind of starts to kind of rise up a little bit more if you're interested in the Shaddoll stuff. Lightning Storm is another card that I thought was going to be going crazy, but then the more I thought about it, it's like, you know what, it really doesn't have a place like I think it does. Like I thought that Lightning Storm was, because you have like Labyrinth, even though Fire King kind of benefits from Lightning Storm, you have a lot of other decks that kind of like, I wouldn't say lose to Lightning Storm, but they really don't, they don't want to deal with it. But right now we're looking at Lightning Storm, and a lot of copies are either $1 or under that, under that $2 range. You got the original version going for like, this one is going for like $7 to $10. But if you're kind of thinking about Lightning Storm, you don't have it for some reason, I would go in and pick like the ultra rares. These right here going for $1. These Pragmatics are going for about $2. The super rares are going for under $1. I would just get this sooner rather than later, because I do feel like eventually people are gonna like, now I'm gonna say they'll catch on, but I do feel like this is gonna be a really solid board breaker, especially when people aren't, like when I mean, a lot of stuff moves in cycles, but I feel like we're going to a cycle where like people are gonna be caught off guard with Lightning Storm, even though the tier 0 format says otherwise. We're gonna see in the upcoming tournaments. Triple Tactics Talent is another card that I feel is extremely broken. Every single deck is probably going to be running this card because it is pretty much the perfect board breaker / draw engine / anti-hand trap card in Yu-Gi-Oh! I understand going second, it doesn't do, actually no, I'm tripping. I was thinking about a different card. Going first or going second, this card is so good. If you're going first and they hit you with a hand trap, as long as it's not, even if it's Drone Lockbird, to be honest, you activate talents, you're either reducing them from a 4 to 3 card hand, or you're drawing 2 cards. So you really have there's no reason why decks are not going to be running at least 1 to 3 copies of this card. Like I say 1 because maybe people might run Thrust to be able to like search it, but I really feel like this is going to be a 2 to like either a 2 of or a 3 of in a lot of people's decks, because people are just naturally going to want to run hand traps, and even if they don't run hand traps and if they go second, they're going to want to have that board breaking ability, or maybe even they've already broken the board and they try to push for a game and they sit there and hit them with like the last card in their hands, the Ash Blossom. This right here could punish that so hard and give them so much recursion to be able to put up a board and be able to not push for a game, depending on what it is, but maybe not push for a game, but be able to like really change the tide of a duel. So I'm looking at the secret rare going for $12. That one's like that's really high. You got a lot of ultra rare right here for about $4, super rare for $4, and then these ultra rare for Amanda's and Maven's going for about $4 to $5. I would just get this card sooner rather than later. I feel like Konami might want to put this on the ban list, but if Konami wants to keep Yu-Gi-Oh healthy, I believe Talents needs to stay at least 2. So I feel like we're guaranteed at least 2 copies of Talents in the TCG. The OCG is a different story. Right now, I do feel like this card is here to stay, so we will see how this one goes. Cashier Fen is the last card that I want to talk about in this market watch, because going going first, it's not the best, but for either turn 2 or going second, I do feel that Cashier Fen puts a lot of pressure on the board, especially because it banishes face down. So like not only does it like prevent cards that get, you know, like it kind of like prevents you from triggering effects that like when they get destroyed sent to the graveyard, but it'll also prevent anything that'll activate in the, you know, in the banish, because you're putting it face down, so it won't be able to use its effect. So I do feel that Cashier Fen is a pretty crazy card. Right now you got the ultra rare. It says $14, but like it's kind of looking closer to 20. And the prismatic rare, this one I didn't really check this one, but the ultra rare is kind of closer to 20. Prismatic, we're looking at about like 20, like 21 for the near mint first ed. So pretty much we're looking at like $21 to $22 for that near mint first ed. And Cashier Fen does have its ultimate rare version, which has took a complete nosedive, because like I said, it was like the top deck, everyone wanted it, and now it's kind of like fallen. I wouldn't say fallen out of favor, but it isn't. It's only used either in certain kind of going second decks, or it's used as like a side deck option, or main deck option in like rogue style stun decks. So, you know, the price of the ultimate does kind of reflect that, and I do feel eventually they might want to bring this card to 1. So I'd be kind of iffy. If you have ultimate rare and you just pulled it, or maybe kind of been holding on to it, I would go and get rid of it sooner rather than later, or maybe trade it, try to get 2 other copies, so that way, you know, at least you could have multiple different copies to use right now instead of just that one copy. It's going for about $43 to $45. I would say 43 is a pretty good point for this card. I would offload it now before it gets hit on the ban list. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Peace out, and I'll catch you in the next one.